Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna let y'all come on in. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know what city, what state you're representing. And we're gonna get into this discussion. I'm gonna let a couple hundred of y'all jump in here. And in fact, I'm gonna let a few hundred of y'all jump in before I go in because I think this is something y'all wanna talk about. Let's see. Yeah, so this is I wanted to touch bases on this subject um, uh, when it first came out, but I've been having other things to take care of, so I've been kind of negligent about speaking on this. But I know that this is something that uh, a lot of you guys are talking about, so I wanted to chime in as always. If it affects the people, if the people is worried about it, if the people concerned about it, then yeah, I want to know what's going on. I want to get in on it too. So let's see, who is this? What we got? We got Corey from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Lisa from Dallas, Kevin from, I didn't say his name, but I see you, Kevin Martin, uh, Michelle, South Carolina in the house, Bernard from Washington, D.C., what up? Bacuria from Birmingham, Alabama, Kevin Brown, what it is, homie. I see Dubai in the house, international fans, appreciate you. Kai from Louisville, Kentucky, Desi from Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see. I said Charleston, South Carolina. It's Charleston, North Carolina. Charleston. I'll come back to it. I'm always get confused with Charleston, with South Carolina and North Carolina. Okay, so we got, I see you, Ken Brown. Zach Grant, what up? Canada in the building. Who was it? Enzo, DC, what up? I got Memphis to Baltimore. Jay Walker. That boy moving around. So let me get into it, y'all. So George Lopez pissed off this black woman at one of his shows in Phoenix, Arizona, a couple of Saturdays ago. She took exception to this racial joke that he made, where he stated that the number one rule in the Latino community is to not marry a black person and don't park in front of our fucking yard or something like that. Don't park in our parking spaces, something like that, he said. But I'm dead on when he talked about not marrying a black person. That's what he said. And that's the number one rule. So a black woman stood up and she had some words or whatever. And George Lopez told her to sit down, called her a bitch and all kind of things. He was real vile with it. Now I'm gonna tell you straight up. I didn't have a problem with the joke. I love comedy. I go to comedy shows all the time. I didn't have a problem with the joke. My problem was with how he addressed the heckler. You see, now let me preface this too by saying that when you go to a comedy show, you got to kind of know if you're going to sit in that front row, to be quiet, especially if you don't appreciate something that the comic said. The comic has the mic. It's his show. It's his fans. People know what they're getting. And if you don't agree with it, you don't like it, you probably shouldn't go. There's certain comedians that, and I love comedy, but there's certain comedians I will not go to their show because I'm the type of dude who will go up on stage and rock you see? So I just decide certain kind of dudes, I know what they're about, so I'm not going to their show. And this is irrespective of race. You know, some black comedians, man, they real foul. I just don't like them. I don't like what they talk about, so I don't support those type of dudes. But overall, I love comedy, and I know what comedy is about. And I know that when a comic is in the heat of the moment, just like a lot of rappers, when rappers are on stage, you hear a lot of rappers say foul things on stage. And a lot of times it's that adrenaline rush. Sometimes they may have been drinking, may have been smoking, maybe a little high, whatever. and you got the microphone, you got control of the audience, everybody's vibing to what you're saying, and you really feel like a superhero on that stage. And ain't no telling what's gonna come out your mouth. So if somebody get up on that stage, or somebody inject themselves into the show and try to call you out, it's easy for you to go in on them. And you're going to have the backup of everybody, the whole entire room, the space, whatever you're in, the arena, whatever, the club, everybody's going to be behind you. So it's easy to get caught up. I personally don't think that George Lopez is any kind of racist. I've been following this dude a long, long time. I'm a pretty good judge of character. I have no idea that, I have no real beef with George Lopez. In fact, I'm certain that this man is not a racist. But I know that he got caught up in the moment. And the beef that a lot of people have is him calling the woman a bitch. Now, if she had been Hispanic, this wouldn't be as much of a problem. But because she was of another ethnicity, being a black woman, that's what a lot of people took exception to. Now, I know you people out there saying, well, you know, black men call black women bitches, why y'all tripping, da-da-da-da. Well, it's kind of different. Not saying it's right, but it's kind of different when you have a beef with your family. You have infighting with family. You might fight your brother. You might have a fight with your sister. But if somebody else put their hands on your family, you're going to lose it. And that's kind of what's going on with this racial joke that George Lopez made. He crossed the line when he called the black woman a bitch. We got to acknowledge that. We to a large extent have given people the green light, have given others the green light to disrespect our women. So we got to own that. But at the same time, at some point, we got to stand up and say, okay, that's it. This shit is damaging. We got to stop this. We got to stop this nonsense. So that's what we put the brakes on at. So that's the part I disagree with. Now, if you think about what he said that the number one rule in the Latino community is to not marry a black person. Well, obviously, George Lopez is not the spokesperson for Hispanics and Latinos, because there's a whole lot of interracial black and Latino couples out there, millions of them. So they're not listening to that shit. That's really from the old school. A lot of these people, people are doing what the fuck they want to do. They're dating who the hell they want to date. They're sleeping next to the person that they want to sleep with. And they're not tripping on all of this old school type of thinking. Now, the people that have a problem, a lot of people got a problem with what he said. They got a problem with him, attacking the black chick, but they should have, the problem should be more about with what he said, the actual what he said, why he said it. That's what people should really be focused on. Why is it that people still have this type of mentality? And Latinos may think that way. They may have, there's a certain sector of Latinos that think that way. But there's also a certain sector of black people that think that way. And there's white people who think that way. And there's Asians who think that way. All George Lopez did is bring it to light. He just said it. He spoke it in a public forum. That's what his mistake was. But again, like I say, I didn't have a problem with him saying that because I know that people do think that way. I know that there are people that say don't marry outside your race. And if you do, just don't marry those kind. Don't marry them. Marry anybody but that person or that kind of person. So that's what a big beef is right there. And I'm going to tell you something else. What George Lopez, Man, I got some truth for y'all ass. I'm going to tell you, what George Lopez should have said is that Mexican men, the number one rule in the Latino family is Mexican men say don't marry a black person. And that is how men are in other groups. White men are like that. Black men are like that. Asian men are like that. We want to be able to marry anybody we want to marry, any woman from another ethnicity or group that we want to marry. But we do not want our women marrying outside of their race. We don't even want them dating outside of their race. That's just how men are. We're controlling, we're aggressive, we're hunters. And we feel like our women is our women and other men, women are our women too. That's how men think. So that's some perspective for your ass. No more talk.